Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something special, an incredibly personal journey. One of our listeners shared just an amazing collection of sources, dreams, family history, some really unexplained stuff, all through this spiritual lens. It's quite a set of experiences.
Mm.
So our mission here is to unpack all of that, to pull out the key insights from this, well, this rich tapestry of one family's life. It's about understanding their unique path, the karmic threads connecting them, and this mix of everyday life, spiritual practice, and frankly, some mystical elements. It gives us a rare window, really.
It really does. An extraordinary window. This deep dive gives us a fantastic chance to see how past actions, past intentions, can really show up in the present day, sometimes in surprising ways. And understanding these links, well, it offers profound insights into life's challenges, its opportunities, and our own potential for change. It's such a detailed account. You'll definitely find things that resonate with your own journey, I'm sure.
Okay, let's jump in. We'll start with the listener's father. Now, he was a military man, and like many, maybe enjoyed the common vices back then, smoking, drinking. But later in life, things shifted. He became really devoted to spiritual practice, a big transformation. Then, imagine this, at 59, his life just takes this sharp turn. Cancer, affecting his heart, his lungs. And the doctors give this really stark choice. 3 months without surgery, maybe 6 months with it. His wife, the listener's mother, she had to make that agonizing call. She chose the surgery.
Yeah, clinging to that hope for more time.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really compelling, isn't it? That diagnosis, facing mortality like that, it seemed to spark something huge in him. He didn't just get 6 months. He lived for 4 more years after the surgery. But those years, wow, total dedication, daily morning and evening prayers, offering alms every single day right up until his last. It was like this intense spiritual awakening, finding life's real purpose. He truly embraced the Dhamma.
And what's so clear is how those actions, especially that unwavering practice in his last 4 years, really shaped what happened after he passed away. We see this through two very vivid dreams his daughter had. In the first one, she sees her father in his photo, but he's restless, sweating. Then this dark figure in red cloth takes him down a dark path to a judgment throne in Yamaloka.
Yamaloka, can you quickly explain that?
Right. It's essentially a realm, a plane where your actions from your past life are reviewed, judged. And what's striking is, despite being a brave military guy, in the dream, the father was terrified. It shows how serious this felt.
Okay. And the second dream?
That came about a month later. Completely different vibe. Her father appeared radiant, dressed all in white. He told her he'd observe 8 precepts for a day, and then he'd be reborn.
So how much of this was real versus dream symbolism?
Well, connecting it to karmic understanding, these dreams, filtered through the daughter's mind, of course, were partly true. They were enabled in part by her own merit-making for him, her remembering him. The reality, as the sources reveal, is that he did linger for about 7 days after passing. And yes, he was taken to Yamaloka for judgment. That past alcohol and smoking karma was a factor. But, and this is crucial, his continuous, dedicated Dhamma practice in those last years. It created a huge amount of positive merit, enough to save him from a really severe outcome. So instead, he was sent to the Gandhava realm. That's a high-ranking celestial plane, a more fortunate rebirth within the Ketuma Rachika heaven. So the dream about being reborn, accurate, but in that celestial context, not back here on Earth. His story really shows it's never too late, That final push can really change things.
Wow. So those last 4 years of intense dedication essentially counteracted the earlier negative karma enough to elevate him to a heaven realm. That's incredible.
Precisely. While all karma plays a part, the intention and the intensity of our actions, especially when they're consistent like his were at the end, they can have a really powerful effect, like a strong current of fresh water clearing out murky stuff.
It really highlights the power of that present moment choice, doesn't it?
Exactly. It always offers that potential for transformation.
An amazing story for the father. It really shows how commitment can reshape destiny. Okay, speaking of complex paths, let's shift to the listener's husband. His life has its own cycles, vows, business, healing, and his spiritual leanings started incredibly young. Imagine this, just 7 years old. He felt this pull to go live at a temple. His 4 siblings, they stayed home. That tells you something right there.
A very strong innate connection.
Definitely. His first ordination lasted 5 years, which is significant. But he chose to disrobe. Why? Out of duty. His mother, his siblings, they were really struggling with debt. He felt he had to help. A noble reason, but it set a kind of pattern.
A pattern of monastic inclination versus worldly duties.
Right. So after disrobing, he tried shrimp farming. Tough business.
Yeah.
Lasted about 4, maybe 5 years. Heavy investment. loans, and then just disaster after disaster. First, shrimp diseases. Green algae, they got thin, wouldn't eat, wouldn't shed skin, just died off. Then floods came through, wiped things out.
Oh, wow. One thing after another.
Yeah. And then the government banned it locally because rice farmers complained about water pollution. The absolute final straw, his last batch of shrimp got rejected. Detected chemicals, total financial ruin.
That's devastating.
And through all that, his wife, our listener, was apparently amazing, telling him even then tomorrow will be rich. Just unwavering support.
Incredible strength.
But all that stress, financial, emotional, it hit his health hard. He developed chronic asthma, really extreme allergies to cold smells. Breathing itself became difficult. He must have been in despair.
You can imagine. And this leads us straight to the karmic roots, doesn't it?
It seems like it must.
Well, his early temple life, the repeated ordinations that comes from a very strong past life connection to being a monk. Many lives. That's why he was drawn so young. But the pattern of ordaining then disrobing, it created what you could call an inconsistent ordination blueprint. The desire is there, deeply, but the follow-through across lifetimes wasn't stable.
So staying ordained now depends on his own firm resolve.
Exactly. His current ability to stay ordained for life really hinges on his own unwavering determination this time around, to really solidify that path. Now, the asthma and allergies, that's a direct result. It's the karma from destroying so many shrimp lives for profit, combined with some older karma of overworking animals in previous lives.
Ah, I see the connection.
But here's the truly remarkable part.
Yeah.
The healing. After he reordained in 2003, he completely stopped seeking medical help for it, just focused entirely on meditation, his monastic duties. And within a year, the allergies completely gone.
Wow, just vanished through practice.
Vanished. It's a powerful demonstration of how dedicated spiritual practice can actually mitigate, even resolve, severe karmic consequences manifesting as physical illness. It's quite profound.
That really is astonishing. So for him, or anyone maybe carrying karma from similar past actions like this shrimp farming, how do they actually work to, well, rectify it? What's the process?
It comes down to consistent, sincere effort. For him, it means continuing his daily monastic practice, cultivating good deeds, definitely, and crucially, dedicating the merit generated specifically to those countless shrimp whose lives were taken. It's an ongoing purification, acknowledging the past, creating positive karma now, and wishing for it to benefit those harmed. Not erasing the past, but transforming its future effects.
That makes sense. Now, about your relationship with him, listener, you met when he was first ordained, but you live separately now, only meeting for spiritual or practical things. It's unconventional.
It is, from a standard viewpoint.
Yeah.
But again, it has deep karmic roots. In past lives, you two were primarily Dhamma friends, connected on the spiritual path. For a brief period, you were companions in a worldly sense. But he repeatedly felt the pull to ordain, which led to him leaving to pursue that monastic life. So this pattern of separation, of him choosing the monastic path, it kept repeating. Your current situation is just the latest manifestation of that long-standing dynamic.
So it's not really new for them, karmically speaking.
Not at all. So the guidance for you, listener, is this. Try not to wish for a typical family life. Instead, look to the example of Phra Nang Phimpa, or Phimpa Devi.
The Buddha's wife before he left.
Exactly. She supported his journey wholeheartedly, rejoiced in his accomplishment even after he left. By doing the same, by supporting and rejoicing in his monastic path, you actually share in his merit. Aspire to reunite not in a worldly family, but in the ultimate Dhamma. Aim for that higher spiritual convergence, leading towards liberation together. That's a deeper, more lasting bond.
That's a really powerful reframing, shifting the aspiration entirely. Okay, from the husband's journey, let's turn to a couple of your own, listener. Very personal and quite mysterious experiences. The first one is really startling. The strange thing your mother saw right after you were born. She said in the hospital she saw this entity, not human, not animal, round head, black face, big yellow aura, and it was just staring intently at you, the newborn, in your little box. She was terrified, understandably, and it only vanished when she threw a Buddha amulet into the bassinet. What a frightening thing for a new mother to see.
Absolutely terrifying. So the crucial question is, what was that? The insight here is that it wasn't actually an external being, not a ghost or anything like that. It was what's called a distorted element, the white, essentially a mental projection. It arose purely from your mother's own intense fear, her anxiety, the stress of that vulnerable moment of childbirth.
So it came from her mind.
Yes. The act of throwing the amulet, regaining her composure, her faith in its protection, that mental shift caused the illusion, the projection, to simply dissolve.
Mhm.
It was an internal phenomenon, not external.
That makes a lot more sense than some random creature appearing. Okay, and then there's your own visual thing. For years, you've been seeing these two-layered white circles, like light hitting glass, and it happens when your eyes are open, not during meditation. You thought maybe an eye problem, but no pain, so you wondered if it was, I don't know, spiritual.
Yeah, no, based on the description, this sounds very much like an eye abnormality. It doesn't fit the typical patterns of Dharma vision or spiritual perceptions, which usually manifest differently, often linked to meditation states. This really points towards something physical with your eyes. My strong advice, please go see an ophthalmologist, get it checked out properly. Don't dismiss physical signs, even if they're subtle or painless.
Right, good practical advice there. Okay, let's focus now on your son. Born after a pregnancy where you could only eat vegetables and eggs. Interesting detail. He's described as smart, articulate, but his grades in school are poor. That classic, frustrating paradox for parents, right? Seeing the potential, but not the results on paper.
Mm-hmm. Common challenge.
But here's a really striking thing about him. This deep, unwavering desire to ordain. Since he was a little kid. By age 9, he'd already ordained 3 times during school breaks, which led to some family worry about him becoming a 3-temple monk. Can you address that concern?
Right, let's clear that up. That term, three-temple monk, usually refers to someone who ordains, disrobes, or ordains, again, maybe without real commitment or progress. It can imply inconsistency or even bring shame if the intention isn't pure. But your son sounds different. He's genuinely inclined, making spiritual progress even in short stints, ordaining during school breaks. That's a fantastic use of time, way better than just idling.
So he should be supported.
Absolutely. Fully support his sincere inclination. He's cultivating merit, showing real dedication. It's not the negative pattern the term usually implies.
That's reassuring. Now, alongside this, he's had some tough health issues. Chronic tonsillitis from age 2 to 5, high fevers, even a seizure, weekly hospital trips, just awful. They finally did a tonsillectomy at 5, which solved that. But then recurring warts popped up on his right index finger, 3 surgeries for those, and now a cyst, maybe needing more surgery. It sounds relentless.
It does sound like a persistent struggle. And again, we look to the karmic roots.
What could be causing this?
Okay, the tonsillitis, the throat issues of age 2 to 5. That ties back to a past life where, as a rebellious teen, he frequently argued with, defied, and spoke harshly to his parents and elders. Karma related to speech. And the warts, the cysts, specifically on the right index finger. Same past life. He didn't just argue, he frequently, disrespectfully pointed that finger at elders trying to guide him.
Wow, that's specific.
Yes, karma can be quite precise. And the poor academic performance, despite his intelligence, also linked to that life. He secretly drank alcohol, which clouded his mind, affected his concentration and studies then, echoing now.
Okay, so knowing the roots, what's the remedy for him now?
It's actually quite clear and empowering. First, encourage him to keep ordaining whenever he feels that sincere pull that builds positive karma, strengthens his spiritual blueprint. But crucially, he needs to consciously work on showing deep respect and humility towards elders in this life, and actively cultivate piyawaja, gentle, kind, truthful speech. Avoid harshness, avoid disrespect. That conscious effort, combined with his ordinations, will directly lessen those karmic burdens and should help alleviate these health problems over time. It's about transforming the past through present action.
Such clear cause, effect, and remedy. It really connects the dots. Okay, let's pull all these threads together now, this family. There's clearly a shared spiritual history here.
Absolutely. Looking at the bigger picture, the sources reveal they were all part of a Dhamma community in a past existence, each with a role. You, our listener, you were like the supply corps, providing resources, support, making sure the practitioners had what they needed, a vital role. Your ex-husband, he was part of it too, ordained for a while back then. But he eventually left that specific group due to some conflicts, some friction with others, though that deep spiritual inclination obviously remained. And your son, in that past life, yes, he was rebellious as a youth. We see the echoes now. But later, he genuinely turned to the Dhamma and ordained for life within that community. He has a very strong destiny for ordination.
So they were all connected in this spiritual endeavor before.
Deeply connected. And this leads to a really powerful aspiration for the family now. Encourage everyone to dedicate themselves fully to all kinds of merit-making generosity, morality, meditation, learning, and then make a shared, fervent aspiration, a strong wish to be reborn together in Dusit Buri. That's a specific celestial realm, a pure land for bodhisattvas, those aiming for Buddhahood. The goal is to be reborn there, within that special Dhamma community again, and never be separated in future lives, continuing the journey together towards enlightenment.
What a truly beautiful and unifying vision for them. This deep dive has just been incredible. It lays bare that intricate web of karma, how past actions ripple into the present, and it powerfully shows how spiritual practice, that conscious intention, can genuinely transform even really heavy karmic stuff. Destiny isn't fixed.
Indeed. And while the specifics are unique to your family, listener, the underlying themes, the search for understanding, for healing, for progress that's universal, it reminds us all that our own life stories are these rich karmic tapestries full of lessons.
Thank you, truly, for sharing such personal and illuminating sources. It's been a real privilege to explore this with you.
And as you reflect on all this, here's a final thought to maybe chew on. Understanding our past isn't about getting stuck in regret or feeling fated. It's about empowering our choices now with wisdom. So the question becomes, what seeds are you planting today, consciously, intentionally, for the harvest you hope to reap tomorrow?
A powerful question to end on. A call to mindful action. We really hope this deep dive has offered valuable insights. Join us next time on the deep dive. And perhaps take some time to explore your own karmic tapestry.